Each and every one of us has an unlimited inner wellspring of spiritual power. You have the ability to transform, create, and heal anything upon which you set your heart and mind. Join me, Sarah Hall, as we learn how to uplift all aspects of your life through spiritual empowerment. Enjoy weekly guided meditations, spiritual discussions on a multitude of topics, and a chance to call in to receive channeled messages from the angels on your spiritual journey. I'm Sarah Hall, and this is Through the Eyes of the Angels. Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm so happy to be here with you as we prepare to head into a brand new energy. That's right, we are all experiencing a little shift as we head into the energy of the new moon, which is coming up this Saturday, and the spring equinox for those of us in the northern hemisphere, or autumnal equinox for those of us in the southern hemisphere, which is coming up this Tuesday, March 20th. I love the spring and autumn equinoxes, as these are times in which the veil of the spirit world is thinner in nature. The spring represents a time of fertility, of arising, awakening consciousness and energy. And in honor of awakening fertility in the springtime, today we're going to be discussing the awakening of the divine feminine. So first, what do we mean when we say divine feminine? I know that's a phrase that we hear a lot, especially in the world of New Age spirituality. So let's just talk about the basics with it. The divine feminine functions as one of the dual aspects of your consciousness. We live in a dual paradigm in which we experience contrasting forms of reality. So, for example, there is light and there is dark. There is stillness and there is movement. There is feminine and there is masculine. Know that when we talk about the feminine and masculine in terms of spiritual consciousness, we are not referring to your physical gender or a cultural gender role of male or female. Every single one of us, whether we identify as male or whether we identify as female, have both divine feminine and divine masculine consciousness within us equally. We need both of these forces in order to function. So, in order to understand the idea of awakening the divine feminine, we must also understand the divine masculine. I love the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching describes the dual nature of yin and yang, or masculine and feminine, very, very well. And here's a quote from the Tao Te Ching. When people see things as beautiful, ugliness is created. When people see things as good, evil is created. Being and non-being produce each other. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short define each other. High and low oppose each other. Fore and aft follow each other. So you see, feminine and masculine energy provide context for one another. The feminine and masculine parts of your consciousness represent one of the ways in which duality is expressed through the self. So what are the differences then between your inner feminine and masculine? How do we know which force is which? Well, the masculine aspect of your consciousness is the natural human part of us that arranges order out of the seeming chaos of nature. It thinks, organizes, it builds, acts, strategizes, and it gives so that it can create that sense of order. The masculine side of your consciousness sees the world through linear perception, For example, our sense of time is linear. We perceive a past, a present, and a future. Also, our use of language is linear. A sentence is structured linearly to help the mind process, order, and organize the ideas the sentence contains. Our masculine consciousness relies on the power of logical reasoning. Also, it focuses on our awareness as an individual, differentiating between what is you individually and what is other. The masculine aspect of your consciousness acts as a vehicle, a container, and a provider for the feminine aspect of your consciousness. It is the structure through which your ideas and inspirations can be explored. Taoist spiritual texts often refer to the masculine or yang consciousness, in this case, as seeing in the light. In the light, our consciousness perceives form, order, and boundaries between separate things. Now, the feminine aspect of your consciousness embraces and becomes one with the chaos of nature. Where our reasoning masculine side wants to create order in reality, trimming the hedges, mowing the lawn, and paving the streets, the feeling, instinctual feminine side of our consciousness surrenders to the wilderness of the forest because there is wisdom to be found there. The feminine is the part of us that feels and expresses emotion and instinct. Where the inner masculine wants to create a direct, straight line from point A to point B, the divine feminine indulges in curiosity and beauty. And so it explores to find the most beautiful path based on its instincts and feelings. The divine feminine focuses on enjoying and growing through the journey rather than arriving at the destination. It is the part of you that plays, receives, and follows instincts. This aspect of you thrives from perceiving the world in a non-linear, holistic fashion that allows you to become aware of the oneness of the web of life. It is the part of you that allows you to perceive that all things are connected. The natural function of your divine feminine consciousness is to perceive beyond your individual awareness and then understand the collective, thereby lending meaning and purpose to the human journey. The feminine sees not only what is good for the individual, but also transcends the separate individual self to understand what is good for the family, group, tribe, or community, collective. Now, when combined, the inner divine masculine provides structure, action, and space through which the divine feminine purpose may be implemented or expressed. Without the feminine, the masculine would be like a car without any fuel or anywhere to go. Without the masculine, the feminine would be like an amazing idea with no way to put that idea into action. While your inner masculine is the judge who sees in the light, your inner feminine or yin consciousness is the shaman who sees in the dark. To see in the dark is to delve into the realm of formlessness, to see deep enough into the interconnectedness of reality such that the boundaries between forms become blurred. Through your divine feminine consciousness, you experience the subconscious mind and the spirit, the deeper layers of reality that are not always readily apparent on the surface. In this formless realm of being, you have the power to perceive the source of human consciousness, the oneness from which all intuitive awareness arises. Intuition, therefore, is accessed through the divine feminine. So then the act of awakening the divine feminine really is one of moving this subtle, instinctual awareness of the interconnectedness of life from your subconscious mind into your conscious mind. You see, you are always receiving intuitive knowledge. When someone walks into a room, you are picking up on the energy of their thoughts, their intentions, and emotions, whether you realize it or not. Awakening divine feminine consciousness is then valuable because it also awakens your intuitive awareness, helping us to function better as individuals and more harmoniously as communities. So, how do we accomplish this awakening of the divine feminine, or rather sensitizing ourselves to our awareness of collective thought and thereby to our collective human goal to thrive harmoniously within the web of life? I believe that one of the best ways to do so is to begin by practicing stillness. Meditate. Practicing stillness is the cornerstone of honing awareness and can be used really to achieve any mental or spiritual goal or shift that you desire. To practice stillness is to dive into the simple act of being without attachment to your thoughts. As you observe in stillness, you'll discover a state of pure being, of pure I amness. The more you practice being in this state while fully awake and conscious, the more space you create for the divine feminine to be present in your waking mind. Your everyday perspective thus becomes more and more in tune with sensing the spiritual interconnectedness of all, awakening and strengthening your intuition. Engaging in the self-discipline required to practice meditation is one of the many strengths of your divine masculine consciousness. So recall that feminine and masculine follow one another just as surely as night follows day. So in order to awaken and strengthen the feminine, we must do the same for the masculine. Again, recall that divine masculine consciousness makes the perfect container through which to experience the magic of the divine feminine. In meditation, your masculine presence is the discipline of stillness that makes it possible to become aware of the sprawling, infinite presence of spirit. Your inner masculine is then like a blank canvas upon which your inner feminine paints a beautiful painting. And without the canvas, there'd be no way to capture all of the beautiful colors, shapes, and concepts of the painting. Another way to think about it is that your feminine consciousness is like the vast oceans, full of life, moving with the waves and the weather. And your masculine consciousness is like a jug that temporarily holds some of the ocean's water, lending it a new shape and a new context. So every spiritual practice we use to hone and awaken the divine feminine is also honing, strengthening, and awakening the divine masculine. And there are many different spiritual practices that can help you to achieve this, just like there are many rivers that would lead to the same ocean. So no one path is necessarily better than another, so long as it's leading you to the same place. Which is why, of course, we should never persecute or judge another person's spiritual path, because we each have the right to choose our own journey, and we each need differing journeys. Another example of a spiritual practice that can balance the dual forces of your nature is Tai Chi, which directly focuses on the presence of yin and yang within you. Tai Chi is a martial art in which each of the body movements honors this balance, so that when you are reaching forward with one part of your body, you are equally reaching back with another. This creates incredible physical balance, strength, and a deep state of peaceful higher awareness. That's what balance does. And the same can be said of yoga. The physical alignment of the postures is best achieved when you balance yourself. So when I reach upwards during my own yoga practice, I simultaneously make the effort to ground my feet downwards. The structured masculine discipline of moving through these postures makes way for a state of mind that can unlock pure presence, formlessness, and higher awareness that awakens divine feminine, not only during your yoga practice or Tai Chi practice, but also throughout your everyday life. A disciplined practice like this simply makes more room for collective awareness to live and breathe in your waking conscious mind. Yet another example of a spiritual practice that gets us in touch with our divine feminine side is, and this is one of my favorites, to practice a form of self-expression such as art, music, or dance. Creative modalities provide a way to explore the deeper aspects of consciousness. For example, drumming or dancing may occupy your conscious mind and body, wherein your inner masculine side tunes into the structure and the skill of the rhythm and the movement, while unlocking great passion, emotion, and creating great space for the divine feminine presence to get ecstatic, to express. So too might painting or singing help you access and release the deep instinctual emotion that you share with the human spiritual collective. So these art forms help us to delve into the deeper parts of our own consciousness that then delve us into the deeper partials of collective consciousness. It's thus no surprise to me that art forms have long been associated with divine feminine spirituality and goddess worship, including that of Venus, Pele, Saraswati, Bastet, and countless more goddesses who are patrons of the arts throughout many, many different cultures and histories worldwide. Self-expression can liberate us from the ordinary consciousness of daily living and deliver us into the wilderness of divine feminine instinct, feeling, and passion. In our modern living, it can be easy to get caught up in the demands of our jobs and responsibilities, which can often overemphasize the use of masculine consciousness. When masculine consciousness is imbalanced with the feminine, we're oftentimes in a state where then we're valuing analytical thinking over intuition and feelings, when in truth, you really do need both to understand the truth wholly. Or we might find ourselves pushing for productivity, work, and outer accomplishments or amassing wealth over our own well-being, our feelings, our true desires, or our sense of having a meaning or purpose in life. Due to the fact that our culture currently overuses masculine thinking just a bit without the presence of feminine there to help it along, or while even repressing the feminine in many cases, people lose touch with their sense of meaning, purpose, and spiritual wonderment at the miracle of life. It's therefore important that we make these values and forces balanced in our own individual lives. So in other words, take time away from the grind of life to allow yourself to become curious, playful, expressive, and untamed. Listen to your intuition, nurture and listen to your feelings, and journey to discover spiritual meaning in life. Without these things, we can feel lost or often even depressed. Repressed feminine spirit contributes to the consciousness that also allows us to do things like exploiting nature, animals, or human beings for profit, or that starts a war to resolve conflicts rather than using some kind of compromise. Without a conscious connection to the reality that on planet Earth, all life is one, and therefore the well-being of the collective group, tribe, or family is the well-being of the individual, we can become lost in suffering. Repressed masculine spirit can, of course, also make us very unbalanced, wherein someone might have a dream, inspiration, or a vision they wish to share, but never finds the courage, assertiveness, structure, or action to put that dream into motion or to speak with your individual, unique voice. So we must consciously contribute balance to our personal and social values and priorities so that our global civilization may thrive and so that we as individuals may thrive. This really begins with you and your individual human personal lifestyle practices. The spiritual journey is one of self-knowledge. And to completely know yourself, you must know and balance both your masculine and feminine qualities. Now, as consciousness collectively evolves through time, it seems to me that there is a pendulum swing between either the feminine or the masculine leading our human narrative. Perhaps we could say that in our maybe primitive early times in which our species wandered in nature and survived in hunter-gatherer or tribal communities, that this was a feminine-led energy. And perhaps we could also say that when mystery ruled our sense of spirituality in the world, in which nature was the realm of gods and spirits and shamanism was our practice, that this was a feminine-led energy. We then might also be able to imagine that the age of reason was a masculine-led energy, or that the formation of empires that sought to conquer other lands and people was a masculine-led energy. Now, in our modern world, we are gradually awakening more and more to the fact that we are not made up of separate, disconnected nations and peoples, but rather that we are truly an inseparable global community. We have our modern technology to thank for helping us to realize and to live this way, a modern technology in which our economy is truly global, and in which you can make a phone call to someone on the other side of the world and instantaneously communicate with them, feeling our oneness, feeling our connection. So we can observe then that the masculine-led energy of reason that gave birth to technology and analytical thinking has led us to progress so far that we are seeing from the feminine viewpoint of collective oneness. After all, think of it this way. If you travel far enough to the right, you will find yourself in a place that you once perceived as the left. Science, for example, is progressing so far that it is beginning to touch the realm of God and spirit, to go into things that before maybe only spirituality and religion would once describe. Perhaps we wandered so far in the wilderness in our primitive origins that it inspired us then to create civilizations, or perhaps we delved so far into that world of myth and mystery that it inspired us to wish to know the logical scientific structure of reality. For every pendulum swing to the right, there is another to the left. I believe then that at this juncture in the evolution of human consciousness, the divine feminine is awakening more and more, and that it's happening just as gradually and subtly as a flower blooms. So seeing for us the discord of war and environmental instability and so forth over the last many decades of life has influenced many of us to passionately desire solutions that harmonizes our collective, heals us, that also finds spiritual meaning and purpose to drive a new way of structuring our world. As we heal and grow spiritually, the masculine and feminine are balancing. As human beings, we function with the greatest of health and harmony when we use and value both our feminine and masculine consciousness equally. You see, empathy flows from the divine feminine, and the power to implement empathy into our world systems comes from the masculine. So let the change begin with you first in your own life, And then watch the beauty unfold as this balance spreads. So now let's go ahead and practice a guided meditation together so that we can practice getting to know our feminine awareness. So if you're in a comfortable place where you're able to do so, go ahead and sit back and relax. Breathe deeply and close your eyes. As you breathe, notice the body relaxing and the heartbeat softening to a deeply receptive state. And notice your thoughts gently shifting to a still place. Observe them as if your thoughts have become the quiet murmur of a babbling brook that flows before you. Observe in stillness. As you breathe and relax in this quiet, open space, notice that the act of observing in stillness creates a sensation of expansion in your mind. With every quiet breath, the mind expands to encompass more and more space around you. In this expansive, still state of being, it is so easy to be aware of your deepest thoughts, emotions, subconscious beliefs. In order to delve into this part of you, visualize that there is a beautiful pool of water shimmering before you. Taking in a nice deep breath, approach the pool of water and gently dive in. The pool of water is warm and it awakens your sensations. The more deeply you move into the water, the more aware you become of each of the tiny feelings within your physical body, each of the beliefs, emotions, wants, needs, and desires in the subconscious mind. Simply take a moment to notice the presence of your subconscious mind. Again, going back into observation. Becoming aware of your deepest inner feeling, the thing that you want the most. And then simply allowing it to be without attachment, simply observing it and letting it go. Dive down into the water, feeling yourself moving through radiant colors of emotion, feeling, awareness. And notice that as you move into the pool, it is connected to a system of conscious waterways that spread throughout the planet. That the water in which you swim is connected to the mind of all. Feel your individual awareness spreading deep into the consciousness of all, as if to place roots into this consciousness, absorbing the awareness and bringing it forth into the conscious mind, sharpening your intuition, and choosing to trust this intuition. Now, take a moment to allow the instinctual feeling aspect of you to rise to the surface of the pool with you. Feel this force within, inspiring you, animating you. And ask yourself, in this emotional, feeling, instinctive state, what do I want or need the most? Listen to the answer, and then send that knowledge right into your conscious mind. Take a moment to play in this space, perhaps enacting your desire, visualizing and feeling what it is like to receive exactly what you truly, deeply want and need. Get curious, playful, and explorative, allowing that emotion of fulfillment to spread into every cell of your body, every conscious particle of your mind, growing with fertility and abundant inspiration. The emotions pouring over you. Now, we will make a way for this presence to anchor itself in your conscious mind. Visualize before you a symbol of your divine feminine. Any image that helps you to recall this state of feeling beautifully, magically fulfilled as you connect in with your desires and your fulfillment. Now, as you hold that symbol in your hand, place it into the very center of your mind, as if you have emblazoned it upon your third eye chakra, right in the center of your forehead. Watch that object or symbol begin to grow bigger and brighter and begin to move, pulsing, or perhaps spinning. allow that symbol to enter into the neural network of your conscious mind, allowing room for your intuition and for your feelings, your feminine wisdom to flood your everyday thinking. Visualize the symbol moving into your mind when you wake up in the morning, feeling it moving with you as you go about your morning routine. Feel this emotional presence with you throughout your workday, throughout your interactions with others. And then follow it. Give it space to play, dance, and to enjoy your waking life until this symbol spreads all the way into your evening routine and follows you into your sleep. You may now gently begin to shift your awareness right back to your physical present moment, returning to stillness, returning to the present. Once again, feeling conscious of the quiet expansion of your mind, pure stillness radiating outwards as you allow all thought forms to flow past you until they begin to blur into the light, into the formlessness. With your next deep breath, breathe your presence all the way down into the spine. With your next exhale, feel your energy flooding down out the root chakra at the tailbone, feeling it flowing down out the legs and the feet, feeling your connection to the earth, and then gently opening your eyes to shift right back into the room, back into this physical space that you are in now. Beautiful. Thank you so much for connecting in our meditation. That felt so good, as it always does, to connect with you guys. So now is our time to call in if you would like to receive an angel reading, or if you have any questions or thoughts on our discussion today. And the number to call in is 240-979-6366. Again, that's 240-979-6366. You can also text your reading request to that number, or you can leave a voicemail on that number just in case you don't get through. And we're also accepting reading requests in the chat room at bringmetolife.com. That's BRINGME2, the number 2, life.com, where you'll see a little chat bubble that you can click. So today we are going to be working with the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards and the Nature's Whispers Oracle cards, just to honor that energy of Divine Feminine. And while we wait for our first caller to call in, we will do a collective reading. And again, since we're about to head into a shift in energy, I'm going to ask our angels and guides to give us guidance on what we might be able to expect with the coming shift of energy. Again, we're going into a new moon on Saturday, and then we're going into the spring equinox on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. So let's go ahead and we're going to pull a couple of cards. I'm feeling guided to use the Nature's Whispers cards for this. And the energy that we can expect is, oh, I see some beautiful cards. The first card is Let Love Be Your Beacon. Let love be your beacon. So the first thing that I'm hearing from your angels is that this time actually may be one in which it's possible for some challenges to arise, potentially to struggle a little bit with a little bit of frustration, or simply feeling more acutely than you did before the energies that aren't serving your highest purpose in your life at this time. So whenever we're in a dark space or a confusing space or a challenging space, we need a torch or we need a beacon to lead us through, don't we? Let love be that beacon this card is helping us to see. When love is our beacon, it helps us to automatically reprioritize our life so that we can truly let go of the things that are not of love, that are not loving in the way that we treat ourselves or in our lifestyles we connect with others. And then we know what we want, who we truly are and what we truly want to prioritize because it is of love. Okay, so the second card that we are getting is the Renewal of Peace card, Renewal of Peace. So this is really good news. This is a card that essentially says that for anybody who has been experiencing some challenges around, again, letting go of the past or have been doing some shadow work or some healing stuff that has taken us to some, again, more difficult places where we're releasing our past. This tells us that essentially the shift in energy is taking us towards more peace. The result of doing this work is overall peace and replenishment. And I'm hearing the angels add in a peace that gives an unshakable foundation, such that it's like, if you create this foundation strong enough, you will not falter or fall back into a similar state of feeling, any kind of challenged chaoticness in your life or difficult emotions. The peace that you build now digs you out of that place permanently. In other words, it creates a permanent resonance of stability through your life. So you can thank any of the challenges for creating more wisdom, creating more strength. Final card is the Celebrate Differences card. And right away, I'm feeling some great energy coming in from the angels. They're telling us that the collective or global shift that is coming through this next little shift in energy. Again, we are blooming and growing like a rose very gradually throughout time together as a collective. And what this particular shift means is it's creating more tolerance and understanding of our universal connectedness around any differences that we perceived between one another in the past. This is making way for more peace. Again, no matter how uncomfortable it is to have to weed out the old systems of thought from the past that aren't working anymore, it's creating a sense of harmony, greater tolerance, greater love, and peace for all. So that's a really great sign. Gosh, I just got chills from that. And I think that goes really well with something that we were talking about at the very, very end of our discussion when we were talking about divine feminine and masculine balancing in the collective, kind of in our civilization and our collective thought. So it does look as if we have a caller who has come in. Our caller is Mary. Hi, Mary. Thank you so much for calling in. You're on the air now. And what is your question for today?
Yeah. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for your talk. Love the subject.
Yay.
And I'd like to know kind of my manifestations this year, like what an idea of what this will be.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm pulling a couple of cards from the Goddesses deck for you, Mary. I feel guided towards those. And just as I'm getting into your energy, I'm feeling that you have actually, this is really interesting. Mother Mary is coming forward really, really strong as one of the guides that works with you. I'm feeling her saying that the inspirations that you've been getting to make changes, particularly I'm feeling something around work and career and purpose, kind of like your drive, your ambition, what you do out in the world. She's been helping you behind some of that because it looks as if you have the power to help other people, to get creative in a way that kind of helps people. As I turn over the cards, let's just go ahead and see what they're showing us further on that. You have the Bast card as the first card with independence. So this says taking an independent sort of approach to any changes that you might think of around your work is a good thing. So if you're thinking of, starting something all on your own, starting something on the side that would be, kind of in the realm of I'm self-employed, or this is my own creative little endeavor that I have that I'm working on the side kind of thing, and I'm going my own way, I'm going different than the crowd, that would definitely be really good for you. Have you already started putting any of this stuff into action yet?
Yeah, I have. I've gotten my coaching training, so that is something that I haven't really put into, play yet, but I am certified.
Awesome. And coaching is perfect. So Mother Mary gave us that sign that you're here to help people, and coaching is an amazing, selfless, powerful, powerful way to do that. So the certification is a wonderful first step. And I'm hearing your angels say baby steps, baby steps, baby steps, because they're teaching you and training you as a healer, as a guide, as a coach, as a teacher spiritually for all, with every little experience that you have. So take each experience as they come in a nice gradual timing. Your second card is the Athena card with inner wisdom, inner wisdom. So there's a couple things coming forward from this. I'm first hearing your angels say that you have past lives in which you have been a healer of sorts before, and that some of the inner wisdom that you already have from this is kind of coming back, almost like riding a bike where we just sort of remember and know. So yeah, you've got some great wisdom. And I'm seeing the angels showing us an image of you writing as well. So they're saying writing is good. It's a good way to reach your people, to connect with your audience, and to draw more people to your work and coaching and healing. Let's see the final card. Oh my gosh, I love this. I turned over the final card and it is the Mother Mary card. So that's a good synchronicity. She's really showing up for you today. This is the Expect a Miracle card. So the Expect a Miracle card tells you that you can actually directly expect there to be a real shift in your life. Within this year, I'm getting a strong sense that the action steps that you've been guided to put into motion, though, yes, we're seeing gradual changes come forward with them, they are eventually amounting to a bigger shift where I'm seeing something, kind of change overall in your life. Maybe you'll be doing some of the coaching a little bit more long term. You'll be finding ways to support it out in the world, and thereby it supports you. Any thoughts or questions about any of that so far?
Well, and is there anything with regard to like relationships or my personal life that is coming forward this year?
Sure. Let's go ahead and ask your guides on that topic as well. I'm just going to pull one card from the Nature's Whispers deck to see what they have. Ooh, before I even turn it over, your angels and guides are telling you that the changes that you're being guided towards with regard to growing in your life purpose or learning around spiritual shifts and that sort of thing, this is directly having an effect on relationships. It's directly having an effect on the kind of relationships that you'll be attracting. And also they're saying that relationships are your ground zero for major spiritual lessons to become very, very evident, to understand and learn new things. So that's one of the things that they want you to know. I'm getting a sense that your next partner doesn't necessarily have to have a completely enlightened spiritual mind where they, understand, kinds of things, but they have a spiritual way of treating other people, to where there's a sense that they're treating other people kindly. So trust that. And the card that you have is the Higher Ground card, which is a card that's all about really shifting in the boundaries that we hold with other people. So it says, take a higher ground or make higher standards in your relationships. That's the big spiritual lesson that's coming forward that is majorly preparing you for the ability to use your voice and your spiritual purpose. Higher standards, higher boundaries. It helps you to attract a totally different kind of very equal, uplifting relationship, and that supports your purpose. So
Great.
Yes, beautiful things.
All right.
Yes.
Well, yeah, thank you so much.
You are so welcome, Mary. Thank you so much for calling in. It was great to talk with you today.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, it looks like we have a couple of requests that have come in from the chat room. So our first request came in from Liat from Boston in the chat room. And it looks like Liat has requested a general reading. So for you, we will go ahead, Liat, and turn over a couple of cards. I'm feeling guided towards the Goddess deck again. And we're just going to see where the angels want to go with this. Right away, I'm seeing you nurturing someone in a relationship, taking care of or nurturing someone. Your angels want you to know that this is good. This is a good role to be playing right now. And they're showing us that they are giving you a lot of strength in being supportive to, this other person. So let's turn over our cards and see what they have to show us on this. Wow, your first card is the unconditional love card from Mary Magdalene. And the unconditional love card really, really expresses that same thing that the angels were showing us. Again, in relationships, you're being drawn to go into a place of unconditional love where you are focusing on selflessness in a way where you're really having to carve out maybe a little bit more patience or shift the way that you're seeing things. But that unconditional love is coming through. Your angels are also saying that we must treat ourselves with unconditional love in order to enact it on other people. So make sure that you create balance, which actually goes perfectly into the second card, which I just turned over, and it's the fairness card. Fairness with the goddess Maat from the Egyptian pantheon. So fairness card, it represents balance. And in fact, in the picture on this card, there are balancing scales, which represents that with love, you want to make sure that you are having the chance to receive as equally as you've been called to give and take care of someone else in a situation. Find a way to create a little balance, and that will help you to find your center, your peace of mind, to be really effective in your life, and again in this relationship, or in any cases where you're being really drawn to support another person. Final card for you is Don't Back Down with the goddess Bridget. So Liat, that represents that it's important that you persevere, that you are strong, and that you continue on the path that you're on. Again, especially around people. Don't give up on anybody. Know that you're already on the right track, and it's okay to keep going. Okay, so our next request comes from, again, the chat. It looks like Tanya has requested a reading, and this looks like another general reading. So we will go ahead, and I'm feeling guided to switch over to our Nature's Whispers deck for this. So I'm once again just going to shuffle the cards for you, Tanya, and just pull out some cards. And as I'm doing so, I'm feeling into your energy, Tanya. And I'm feeling the angels show us that they're really helping you with assertiveness. There's a sense that they're helping you to get really, really strong in speaking up, speaking your voice, speaking your true opinions on things. When you do this, or when you ask for what you want, you receive abundance and blessings and good things. Your cards are, the first card is infinite blessings, infinite blessings. So that shows that you have a lot of wonderful blessings around you. And again, I'm hearing the angels repeat, ask for what you want, or speak up and go after what you really, really want. You deserve it. And that brings more abundance into your life. Second card is empowerment. So that's great, because our assertiveness is all about self-empowerment. Your final card is Seek Beauty, and the angels are telling you to look for the positive in your current situation, because it's possible to be assertive and also kind and compassionate. And you can do this by looking for the beauty and the blessings in your current situation. Even if it's challenging, or even if there are negative things, there is always a blessing there. So thank you for your request, Tanya. Now it looks like we have another caller on the line. This is Renee calling in. Thank you for calling, Renee. You're now on the air. What is your question for today, my dear?
Well, after listening to your podcast, I'm seeing that I do not have enough male energy going on within me. I have the ideas, but I don't have the structure to see them through. I seem to give up at that point, and so I'm just wondering what you could say about that, and I'm kind of wondering, are there any particular guides or goddesses or someone that's working with me at this particular time in my life? Okay.
Thank you for that question. That is such a good question, because I know that many of us actually struggle with the exact same thing. So one of the ways in order to make your male energy or your masculine consciousness a little bit stronger is to start taking baby steps to implement structure into our everyday life. So this can be as simple as setting a goal, maybe to wake up just a little bit earlier and then have a structured routine in the morning. Oftentimes body movement or doing something around exercise naturally implements more discipline into our mind and more structured thinking into our mind, and helps us to release things like procrastination, which procrastination can be a big one that comes up when our feminine energy is overtaking our masculine energy in our lives. So start with little simple everyday things that can bring in more structure, and then take little baby steps. One of the other little things the angels are telling us, reminding us right now, that can come in for us when we don't have enough focus with our masculine consciousness, is a sense of overwhelm, where it's like we're looking at the bigger picture, and then it feels like, how will I ever put that into the motion? That feels like, climbing Mount Everest. And the way that you climb the mountain is by putting your left foot in front of your right foot. So break down your steps into little tiny baby step goals. And that will be really good. The angels are also saying, congratulate yourself along the way. They're saying that sometimes there's a little bit of an inner perfectionist within you that doesn't always acknowledge the progress that you make on your path when you start to implement things. But you need to congratulate yourself and love yourself along the way as you take little structured steps on this path. I'm turning over some cards for you as well to help you to see what the angels have to say. And your first card is the Medicine Woman card with the goddess Ishel. So this is a card that represents your divine power. And it's a card that says, actually call on the divine, call on your angels, and call on your guides, because they will be amazing at helping you to get organized, prioritized, and motivated with taking those everyday steps. They are so good at coaching balance into our everyday life. And since you asked too about your guides, let's go ahead and scan around you and see which guides and angels you have. First, I see Archangel Uriel with you really strong. Archangel Uriel is great for intellectual knowledge and learning and the mind, how we see things. You've got Archangel Michael with you too, very protective, and also a great expression of a divine masculine assertiveness and protectiveness. So call upon those two angels for help and getting active. And then lastly, I'm also seeing the goddess Bridget really strong next to you. She is powerful in that she is a divine feminine being, but balances both those forces, because she is known for being, the goddess of assertiveness. So that's who you have around you. And they're just saying, call on us anytime. And then again, I'm seeing them showing us images of body movement. They're saying, really devote your intentions that you have to putting your ideas in the world to your practices of body movement, whether it's regular traditional exercise, yoga, whatever you like the most. Do it in your physical body first. Balance your physical body, and it puts that right into your mind.
Wow. Okay. Amazing.
Good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's
welcome.
really amazing.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for your question.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye. That's so great, guys, because I know that's a question that a lot of us have. So I'm so glad. I know that the callers that end up coming through are people who are reflecting things that all of us need to hear, that all of us need to, kind of think about that or see that. So let's go back. We've got lots and lots of requests that have come in the chat rooms. Let's go to a request from Amy. Amy has a specific question, so we're going to go to hers. She would like a love reading for her sister Lisa. So she's wondering, what do relationships have in store for her, for Lisa? So thank you for your question, Amy. Let's go ahead and pull some cards. I think this is a good question too, because we've seen that there were a couple of callers that came in through today that had some things going on around relationships. So let's go ahead and do that. That's probably a collective message that all of us need to hear right now, again, especially with the shifting energy. When I tune in around Lisa, the feeling that I'm getting is that actually she's really close to manifesting something new. Really, really close to manifesting something new. I'm feeling her sort of stepping out of the mindset that she might have had in the past. And it's like a rebirth that I'm getting, a brand new rebirth. When we see things like this coming through with someone, it usually means that they're ready to manifest oftentimes a brand new relationship, or even that there's a huge new phase happening in existing relationships. So I'm going to turn over the cards for Lisa and just see what we get here for her and what the angels want her to know for her relationship life. First is leap of faith. Leap of faith. So it's time to take action, Lisa. That's what that means. It's time for you to take action in your love life, to take a leap of faith, to speak up, and to start making changes, make things happen. Your second card is inner truths. Inner truths. So this shows that it is safe for you to be vulnerable with someone that you care about, or with a potential someone that you want to become more intimate with. The key to any kind of real intimacy is vulnerability. So being willing to speak your inner truth or show who you truly are. And that also gives us the chance, to invite people to express their innermost self if we do that first with ourselves. And the final card is the potential gateway card. So again, I'm hearing the sense of huge potential is coming here, huge potential for a new commitment and a new chapter in your relationships. When we see a card like this or a symbol like this coming through, it's telling us that you've got the potential, again, to really exit an old relationship or an old phase of thinking and old patterns in relationships and enter a new one. Big new commitment coming through, big new happiness coming through. So we have time to take just one final more caller here. And it looks like we have Nicole on the line from Ohio. Nicole, you are on the air. Thank you so much for calling in, my dear.
Well, thank you so much for taking my reading. I'm so glad I could get through. I've been listening to your podcast a while now, so I'm so glad I could make it through.
Yay! Thank you so much for listening. And what question do you have for today?
Well, my question is, I would like some insight in what to expect for the upcoming year. I've just recently gotten into doing sales work, direct sales work through online and throughout my home here, staying at home with my child. And I'm just wanting to get a clearer idea of if it's going to take off any further than it has, or if it's kind of a dead end. I'm sort of at a crossroads with it right now.
Yes. So the first thing that I'm getting, even before I turn over the cards that I just pulled out, is a sense from your guides and angels that this actually does have the ability to really take off. I'm getting a sense of more abundance coming through. And I'm feeling actually, again, another really fiery goddess type of presence around you, divine feminine energy that says, persevere, stick to it, keep going. Your cards are the Ostara card for fertility. Which is a card that represents that this is a fertile project. This is a very fertile thing with a lot of potential for growth and abundance. Second card is Mary Magdalene showing up again with the idea of unconditional love. So this is showing us that this is supportive for your relationships, this job, and it's allowing you to love yourself more through the new abundance coming in. And I hear your sweet little one over there. Hello.
Yes, I know. I've been asking him to try to keep quiet. This is
that's
really
okay.
Good for
He's
him
welcome
right now,
here.
So.
He is welcome. He is welcome. This bless his heart. So our final card is the receptivity card from Hathor. So whenever we see receptivity, especially around our work and abundance, attracting new things with finances, it tells us to work on manifesting by opening our arms to receive. In other words, envision that you're able to receive more in the realm of finances, expect it, speak from the confidence as if that is coming, and so it will. Get ready to open your arms to receive. Again, this can really create a lot more abundance. There's a lot more that can come for it.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm so glad to hear. I really, truly am. I've had some friends and family that have doubted me and some that are rooting for me and supporting me all the way through. So, I'm really grateful to hear this.
Good.
So
well, you are so
am.
welcome. And don't listen to the naysayers. It's just time to get in gear and persevere because there are changes on the way.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Sarah.
you so much for calling,
it.
Nicole. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who called in and requested a reading. We weren't able to get to everybody today, but maybe next month we'll leave a little bit more time for you guys because we had so many people request in the chat rooms. Know that I'm sending love and prayers to all of you that requested in for a reading. Now we're at the end of our time, so just remember, of course, that I'll be live every month on Bring Me to Life Network. You can mark your calendars for Thursday, April 19th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern for our next show. And of course, all of these podcasts are recorded and available to listen to on iHeartRadio, on iTunes, YouTube, Spreaker.com, that's Spreaker.com, and on the app for Android, Stitcher, that's Stitcher. I'll also post those links for the YouTube version of this and the Spreaker version of this podcast up on my social media pages if you'd like to listen in again, or you want to share these with a friend. And you can connect with me on Facebook at facebook.com/SarahHall1111. That's SarahHall1111. Follow me on Twitter at Seraphim444. That's SERAPHIM444. Or on Instagram at SarahHall444, SarahHall444. Of course, if you would like to connect with me for a private reading, a spiritual coaching, or a healing session, you can visit my website at sarahhall.com. That's SarahHall.com. Stay tuned, and thank you so much for following Bring Me to Life Network. You'll hear more inspiring talk radio music and so much more from this channel. All of my love to all of you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.